took one last deep breath and exhaled slowly. We began to walk towards the elevator. Once everyone was aboard, doors closed. Same as last time, except there's so many fewer people here. There's only 3 guys left. The ratio of guys to girls is looking really great for my odds. Ding. Woo! He changed the decorating.
Just the worst.
Why make us do such cruel things to each other? They hate me so much, but I'm so cute.
Come on.
Stop goofing around and begin the trial. Of course I'll get it started. Stay tuned for the action-packed class trial after this commercial break.
Yahoo!
Okay. Well, a deadly class trial. Save. Hiro's not a girl. Actually, yeah. You're right, because Byakuya is not interested in anyone. Except, well, actually, Togo's just full ham for Byakuya. My odds are extremely high. Alright, let's add those 2 new skills I got. Ooh. I will take an increase of 2 to my focus gauge. Thank you, Hina, for that. Focus gauge decreases more slowly during concentration and fever time, effective during the non-stop game, the Hangman's Gambit, and bullet time. Yes, please, thank you, my friends. These are some good skills. Alright, I'm good. Kyoko and Hina gave me some nice skills.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. If you can figure out who, then I'll know.
We already know who did it.
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it. You killed them.
I didn't. Someone knocked me out. I was asleep the whole time. I don't know anything about it.
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Coming from the murderer, that doesn't mean much.
Who are you calling a murderer?
Exactly.
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it, and all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling.
That is her voice. She's foreign.
It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think he's the killer. It seems extremely unlikely that he's the killer. I've got Hiro's message, so I'm arguing
Everything we
with Henry.
found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
Okay.
I don't know anything about that stuff.
Okay.
It's not true. It's a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Hiro, why? Why did you kill?
No! Just hold on a second.
Interesting. Okay, so the blueprints.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof that you are the culprit.
It's not true. It's
Hiro, why?
no. Just hold on a second.
I missed.
Everything we found, the blueprints, the suit parts,
They are all proof enough.
Got him.
No, that's wrong.
That's not his handwriting, you dirty scrub. It doesn't take a math genius to notice that.
Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
Nope. All my
What
friends
do
are
you
dead.
mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different. When you compare it to the blueprints,
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Yeah.
unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
You aren't smart at all.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
Yes, we got Byakuya and Kyoko on the team. We can't lose.
what?
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
What?
So, who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
Oh god, I don't know. I mean, it has to be Hiro. No one else fits.
Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
Dun dun dun!
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
Interesting. Sparky's asking me what the dying words are because I texted him about it. I'll just have him check later.
What? Now that's a bold assumption.
That's a good assumption.
And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
But he is the boss.
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body. It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto?
It must have been the dolly.
I got it!
And the tarp.
I got it! They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
Correct!
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room. And then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right?
Yes.
It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room.
Correct.
So the killer must have seen it there and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body.
Huh?
That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Correct.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there.
Right, right.
But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly.
Correct.
Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository,
Cart was there.
so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right?
Be right back. Alright, what the heck do you mean?
But are you sure you are not mistaken?
What makes you say that?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body?
What?
That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room.
Ooh.
Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
There's blood on the
She's
wheel!
raised an objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway. We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
That's true for Hiro, but not for me! Oh god, there's more elements? Reloading. One more ingredient. On the bottom of the screen underneath the temple marker, you'll see your ammo count. Up until now, there hasn't really been learned how you destroy your opponent's statements. From now on, just locking and pressing the left mouse won't be enough. Cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. If you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements, no matter how locked on you are. You can reload by pressing tab. Just like locking on, you have to press the tab key in time with the temple marker. Basically, just remember the tab key now is a function along with... Oh no! We're already going into shoot 'em down mode? Oh, shoot! Bring it on!
You had it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch.
Oh, you have to tab in time with the music.
I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You had it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch.
Whoo!
I cannot agree.
This should prove it.
Whoo! I did not see that coming so early in the match.
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it.
Normally you don't go into high noon mode so early in the round.
There was a pool of blood in the
Usually there's a
equipment room with a
hangman's
tire
gambit
mark
and most
in
of a
it
trial
that matched the
before that.
dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Why do you seem so upset by that?
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way.
How many
Let's
times
get
am I
back to
gonna
the
have
main
to
subject.
shoot people in this one round? I'm not that good at DDR,
Yeah.
okay?
The subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I agree with Sakura.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Yeah. He means that they can't bend. Robo Justice costume.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room.
Correct.
And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Right.
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
That's correct.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
Bend over.
No, that's wrong.
You proved this yourself, Hina. You tried putting on the costume.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
Yeah, I remember. You can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
Hina, stop being so grumpy at people. You
It
gotta be
seems
calm
like
and
it'd be
collected.
awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Be more like Sakura and Kyoko.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Right.
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
Yeah.
On top of that,
Genocide
if you were
says.
wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
Wrong. Once it's on, you can never take it off.
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember...
Yeah, he's stuck because there's a tight latch on the back.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hiro wasn't just making it up?
We've been saying that the whole time, Hina.
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it.
Yeah.
Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect him.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
Okay, thinking back. If it wasn't Hiro and the robot... Okay, I'm getting some weird things
To be
thought
clear,
up, but...
whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hiro in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took?
Yeah, the picture.
You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice?
Yeah, but what if it's just a passed out Chihiro? No, a passed out Hiro grabbing onto Hifumi.
If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said? So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hiro, without a doubt.
You're very focused on this Hiro angle,
Yeah.
Celeste.
Yeah, that's gotta be right.
And you're getting Hina caught up in it.
Hold on a second.
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion.
Thank you.
Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it before we rush to a verdict. Shouldn't we explore every single possibility?
Yeah.
Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line.
Hold on, do
If
I have
this
to
is
do
what
the
it
storybook
takes.
thing at the middle?
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself.
Correct.
We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo Justice. It also soon became clear that this same
Robo Justice, blah blah blah. Let's look at those blueprints. I want to see if anything's off about them. Can I see any more about the blueprints, or is this all I can look at? Interesting.
We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office,
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the third floor. And I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
So she's the only one who saw the shadow, so there's a very high chance it could be a fake.
and then... At that point, we decided to divide up into two groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead.
I don't think he was
dead,
And
that's
though.
when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the third floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room.
That's 3 people either
We
way.
must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising. We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again. But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies, and after...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Okay. We're starting with your boy, the school environment. Hanakuma file number 3. Okay.
So,
Says, blow to the head, killed with similar weapons. I think I'll probably need to copy someone's thing.
I wonder if he died before Hifumi. Or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What does the file say?
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Interesting.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died, or perhaps it was...
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammer.
It's true that
Hifumi was killed while Taka's death...
See? So it's obvious Taka came... So, I wonder if he... Or perhaps it was... We already know what order they were killed. Taka came last.
I missed!
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammer.
It's true that Hifumi was
Killed with while Taka's death...
came...
See? So it's obvious Taka came after. So, I wonder if... Or perhaps it was... We already know what order they were killed. Taka came last.
What makes you say...
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammer.
It's true that
I
Hifumi was
missed!
killed with
Justice while Taka's death...
Son of a...
See? So it's obvious Taka came... So, I wonder if... Or perhaps it was... We already know what order they were... Taka came last.
What makes you say...
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammer.
Got him.
No, that's wrong.
Hammers were set there to throw us off.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers.
Yeah.
If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi?
His watch proves it.
Let's see.
Time? Oh, Hangman's Gambit? Okay. I wonder what it could be. Give me an S. Give me a W. Give me an A. Give me a C. Give me an H. What does that spell? His wristwatch.
Now I understand.
Woo!
I got it. Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night...
Gotta thank Kyoko for that later.
So if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
Correct.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
Yes.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
Right.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size.
Right.
That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window.
Correct.
Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Interesting.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko.
I'll be back in a minute. Very interesting indeed.
Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body.
Oh shoot, I forgot to change the name of the stream. We already saved small.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
But what if he wasn't dead?
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Hiro, just shut
Don't
up.
just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
I wonder.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct?
What if his body just
And
got
then
up and
there's
walked
the
away?
disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then.
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body, because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Correct.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
Alright.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies.
What if he
On
wasn't
the other
dead?
hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles.
Right.
So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said, his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
That's what I was thinking! Kyoko, you genius!
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another... ghost!
Hiro! He wasn't dead!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
See, Bianca gets it.
Alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
Yes!
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
We didn't check!
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
I think it is possible. We've got his glasses and his little thingy. Wristwatch?
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No. It is impossible. Hifumi was dead. And you know that. Surely you heard the body discovery announcement. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we real? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Oops. Body discovery was only made once. We discovered it almost the same time.
Are you saying that when we first, there's a chance he was actually
No. It is Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body Hifumi's dead body had been found, and that is why.
Are we real? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
Oh, that was wrong. Alright, I got another idea what to do. Okay. Let's pause. We have... He was actually still alive. The body was moved. We don't have a lot to work with here.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No. It is impossible. Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body discovered. Hifumi's dead body had been found, and that is why the.
Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Damn it. I'm not good at this one. Okay. We have 3 options. So, I've thrown 2 of them around into each other.
Are you saying that when we first, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No. It is Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body discovered. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
I'm so bad at this one. Oh no.
Are you saying that when we first...
Hold on. Does the watch actually have anything to do about this? Hold Hold on. This is not going well. He was attacked in the morning, so no, it wouldn't make any sense.
There's a chance he was actually...
No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body
Hifumi's dead body had been found, and that is why...
Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
I'm gonna die!
Shoot!
This is not good.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No. It is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Someone else's discovery. Should the body discovery was made only once. What if we made detect bodies? Pick up someone else's discovery? Okay. What do I shoot it at? I don't know. I don't want to die.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office...
Yes.
There's a chance he was actually still alive?
That's Celeste, okay.
No. It is impossible.
Hifumi was dead,
and you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery at Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Oh, Aether, you genius! It worked! You just saved my bacon! Woo!
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Alright, I gotta pick myself up by my bootstraps. This is going way too close for comfort.
Was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
Correct.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
There.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you gotta say about that, Bear?
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
Well, we sent 3 people each
That
way.
didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty. Huh? He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again.
But he did make the announcement again.
If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Because he wasn't dead.
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
The bodies were rediscovered.
I got it!
Give me that half a heart back.
We heard
We
it
gotta
a
work
second
our way
time
back
in the
up to full.
repository when we rediscovered the 2 bodies.
Whew! Class trial.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
It does.
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Then in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
And he spoke to
So
us.
when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
God, I don't want to die. Can I save? Actually, I'll save in 3. Alright. Just in case, as a last resort.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
The clock!
Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
Wrong.
That is the worst logic I have ever heard.
Agreed.
But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
Yeah, the proof is the little cloth in his glasses. I don't know which one I gotta shoot at something, though. What do we got? His glasses. Alright.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office.
Correct.
And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom,
Right?
his body disappeared.
Right. Give me that extra
And the
time.
next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
Correct.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after
Oh, here we
being
go. It's
moved,
gonna be soon.
other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
There was! You
No,
filthy
that's
scrub! Save my bacon! Save my bacon!
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository.
Save. We're going old school with this one. Save after everything. Hold on. Oh, we're on phase 8! Usually there's like 10 or 11 phases. We're getting close! I didn't realize we were so far!
His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood.
Correct.
But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless.
Spotless.
And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
In the garbage. What did I find in the trash? I found a cleaning cloth.
I got it!
Two
It was
hearts.
a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot.
We're almost
One
at
look
full.
at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right?
Correct.
And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles.
Yeah,
I
we didn't
highly
get it.
doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
Right.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see.
Correct.
Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
No, there's transfusion-y blood in the nurse's office.
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
Yeah.
Figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Hifumi.
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository.
I did too, and it was
But
locked.
when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, Someone was already inside.
I totally called this one.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository.
Woo! Man, I'm on fire.
So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
One of?
That means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
Yes.
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
The paper! The note Hifumi
I
had.
got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Of course.
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the
Forget
pants
about the
for now.
pants.
Take a look at what the note says.
Alright, bathroom break. I'll be right back. Why were all the girls so interested in his pants anyways?
Ah! That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different.
Of course it's different.
And Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
Right.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been...
Taka!
I got it!
They got in touch with Hifumi's
That's right!
pants!
The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right?
Oh, yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Bullet time? High noon? No? What do these have to do with anything?
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
The wristwatch!
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter!
Lies!
The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
So it's the wristwatch on the last
Then
statement.
the person it was must have been Huffy!
But remember what time did it? 6 a.m.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Got him!
No, that's wrong.
Alright,
No,
we're on phase 9.
There absolutely is a connection.
Whew! We're getting close.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
That's right, Sakura.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Alright, we got her on
Then
our side.
someone used that note to trick Taka. just the same as me.
So they're both technically
The
victims.
culprit really is a cold-blooded monster, telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
He stole it.
Stuffed down his pants, no less.
Most likely. Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof?
Proof? I'll show you proof.
I got it!
Scrap of paper into his
When I
head.
searched Taka's
And
body,
we're almost back
I
to
saw
full
that
hearts.
if I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup. They're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note.
Right.
There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
Correct.
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Dun dun dun.
Whoa, yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
No.
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
I'm gonna go with Celeste because she's the one who found the body.
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
But not the mastermind. The mastermind is to be determined, I guess.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Woo! Small? You think Small's the mastermind?
But me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus.
Walrus?
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
What's up?
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it.
The clean
But
hammer.
wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
I'm surprised too. I wasn't expecting anything smart to ever come out of Hiro's mouth.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue. So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
Correct.
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
The cleaned weapon. Give me that wiped off hammer. Stick it in my revolver. Spotless hammer, let's go.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
Spotless hammer.
Was it Justice Hammer? Maybe Justice Hammer.
Well, whatever there's one, how was the culprit able to... How did nobody witness them care?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about. Check out murdergear.com/hammertime.
Well, one thing. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers.
No way.
No, that's wrong.
Got him. How come you shoot stuff at Hiro
The
more often
murder
than
weapon
anyone
wasn't a
else?
justice hammer at all. No, It was something completely different.
But seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi.
True.
Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris, but for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed
Hush,
clean.
Hifumi's dead.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off.
Correct.
I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones,
Medium ones.
and even some flat mallet-like ones.
Flat mallet.
I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
Right.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
I haven't saved in a bit. I need to save. That's not the save.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him. Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
Oh, God. I'm gonna have to grab another thing. This is where I
Based on the
lose.
rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Correct.
Based on the rules that have been, even if more than one, only the one who actually carried, assuming the rule holds true.
That is.
But that
So
only
there's
really
two
ap-
things
in
to
this
shoot.
case, however, there were two murders.
Ah! Sucker!
Based on the
Kyoko,
rules
slow
that
down.
even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true. It is simply
That is.
but that only really in this
Case, however, there were two murders.
Okay. I guess I gotta shoot the
Based on
impossible.
the rules, even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true.
That is.
But that only really
In this case, however, there were two murders.
Grab the two murders.
Based on the rules that have, even if more than one, only the one who actually can, assuming
The rule holds true.
Shoot the impossible.
No, that's wrong.
Two murders. Boom. Got him.
Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
I just headed backwards.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in the scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you.
Correct.
However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime, and based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents.
Interesting.
And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
But how do we prove it was Celeste? The only evidence I have saying that it's her is that she was the one who unlocked or opened the door and found him after the door was unlocked.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which,
Genius.
if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
It's almost unnatural to choose.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
One person who seems to fit. Me! Nope. It's Celeste.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
Ah, so I'm the suspicious individual now, am I?
Yeah. First day I was told never to trust you.
I really do hate this kind of joke.
She's got an amazing
A
poker
joke?
face.
I wonder.
So what you are saying then is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi.
Yes.
The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him,
Because he would do whatever the heck you said.
that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless goddamn idiot!
What happened to your accent and your hair?
Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you.
Having seen the robot.
Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
Screaming, encountering the suspicious individual.
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
What?
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Exactly.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct?
Correct.
And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said? We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor.
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
And when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said? Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Interesting. I'll be back in a moment. Item mech. And he screamed, "Nervous office, let's go."
It was to get us to divide into two groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
Genius!
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Interesting.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected.
Right.
And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the 3rd floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
True.
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead, Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
You're being oddly quiet here, Mrs. Pokerface.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah? Wait, then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Dun dun dun!
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed.
True.
Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What slip up? Hold on. Let me read over. I've got a Celeste's account thing in here somewhere. He's disappeared. Apparently, going on for a minute. Okay. That's useless to me.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're going to die just like those guys did. Oh my gosh! She didn't know about Taka yet! Whoa!
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office.
Oh my god!
The entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
She messed up!
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Get wrecked, nerd! What are we doing? Bullet time battle? Nope, not yet. Monokuma file number 3. We gotta take somebody else's thing.
All I said was, they must really be enjoying the sight of us standing around. They must be positively ill. We are all going to die here. We are going to die. Just like those guys, and that is all.
And that's all it takes. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Alright, so I need to grab
I
this
said
so strange.
was, they must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die. And that is all.
And that's all it takes. What was
So strange about Celeste's
comment?
All I said, they must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die.
Just like those.
There you go,
No,
that's what
that's
was
wrong.
strange. Break!
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, None of us had told her Taka was dead.
Oh my god, she did it!
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
Good job, Byakuya.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
She's laughing!
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took?
That was Hiro in the suit.
How do you explain this picture of the costumed...
It has to be Celeste put the suit on. And
Have you so quickly forgotten? Plus, I happen to know that, in other words, it is an unassailable if everything I told...
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
Correct!
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Hifumi is dragging the suspect away!
I got it! It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within
Struck
the
a
realm
nerve.
of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
that's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
That was your mistake. You chose to make the stupidest person here the mastermind.
Is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Ooh, we're going in. What's going on now? Make your argument. Oh, shoot. Robo costume, the message, and the blueprints.
You dressed me up in that...
Okay. So we have the message, useless. The blueprints, useful. Alright. So if it comes down to someone else wearing the suit, they can't bend. The blueprints were found in his room to have the arms bent like this. He's got neat handwriting. I think we're gonna go with the blueprints.
Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was
Oh,
unconscious,
no, it's the suit!
there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
The suit
No,
can't
that's
bend!
wrong.
Got him!
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious,
Piece of cake.
they could still stand up like that.
Let's save. Save isn't escape. Hold on. Actually, what phase are we on now? 13! Oh, this is a long trial.
Because that Robo Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
You can't bend at the waist!
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake.
It was on purpose!
I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Oh no, she's making a grumpy face.
Celeste
She
and
did it.
Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
We broke the poker face.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate? Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Oh, she's going full on grumpy mode.
Celeste? Clearly! You want to cram me into your little guilty box? Well, there's one little problem. Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Yasuhiro. Well, what if her real name is something like that?
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait! But my name isn't really Yasuhiro! It's actually Taro!
Your confusing statements don't make any sense.
Yeah.
You're only making things more complicated.
You might want to just shut up for the rest of the trial, Hero.
He did say Yasuhiro. But are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
She's a witch!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us.
Oh, he used the last names!
How did he refer to each of us?
I got it!
And we're back
That's
to
right.
full hearts!
Our last
We
names.
recovered!
He called us all by our last names.
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for
Mr.
example.
Naegi!
So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now
Isn't
isn't that
that
a
a
convenient
convenient
explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal, but he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to.
The one person whose name
and
we don't
that's
know.
Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
True!
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether. Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather. Yasuhiro is a loser's name. Do I look like a loser to you?
Yes, you look like you're on Santa's naughty list for being a loser.
Well, do I?
Hold on, her earrings shock things?
What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
We need to look at her pad! Oh my god!
Fine. Make my real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you?
I've got the evidence! We need to see her notebook! Her thingamajigger! We need her e-handbook!
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name. Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might.
It would have to be you, Celeste.
How many times do I have my name? Celestia Ludenberg! God damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me,
Show us your handbook, you
that's
dirty
wrong.
scrub!
That's it! The handbook!
what?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
The bear's not talking very much in this trial.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Then you accept your guilt!
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
What is this, poker?
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes.
Let's go, boys!
And that'll bring everything to an end.
We got all 5 hearts back. Let's... Alright, what do we got? How'd the killer recruit... I actually don't know what that one is. So let's go to Act 2. What time did the killers call their victim to the room? 2 o'clock. Who was it that the killer summoned first? Hagakure. What's this? The robot thing? Fucked him out, stuffed him in the robo-justice who falsify their evidence. Used a certain item to do it. The camera. What time did Taka arrive? His watch? They had him kill him? Just as Hammer used to kill him. Okay, what number was it? It was number 4. Hifumi used something to fake the existence of a shadowy criminal. Hammer number 2. That's the hammer's in the nurse's office. Okay, that was number 3. Then we found everyone dead. Wrapped up the body. Pushed the body away. And the weapon was a regular hammer. So what did she use to get him to accept? Was it a I don't think it was a picture with blood. I don't think it was his backpack. Was it potato chips? Screw it. I'm putting this one on.
The killer is you!
What do you gotta say, Makoto?
Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was...
Oh, sweet, I was right. Okay.
Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes.
1 o'clock.
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him,
They made a terrible choice for prime suspect.
they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the robo-justice suit.
Let's take a picture.
Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking them, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with
So
him,
good.
they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan.
Murder.
They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder.
With Justice Hammer number 4.
The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1 and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken.
Right?
They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story.
Correct.
The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This
Yes.
time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story. With
Correct.
these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that.
Hammer number 2.
While we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi.
Correct. Act 6.
We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared.
Yeah.
But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened.
Villain is... Celeste! Move faster! Pretty
Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words?
4 seconds ago when he said
They
it the first
hang
time.
heavy around my neck.
Good.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no, Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko Yasuhiro!
Taiko?
Taiko!
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
She's not French at all! I never trusted her from the first day.
Interesting.
No money for you. What do we got? A. Give me that B. There it is. The B was when I lost all my hearts. 98 medals. Woo! We're rich.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no, I suppose this is the end. Isn't it?
It's sad,
It
but
is
true.
indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Got him.
What?
We're correct.
Ta-da!
Taiko Yasuhiro!
Honestly,
By Celeste. Trying to work with someone was a mistake after all. Fumi's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations.
I knew it.
Did approach Fumi with this plan. How'd you get him to agree? I'm sure she relied on her specialty, lying. My specialty? I didn't have to lie to make him agree.
So then,
Did you use, you'd figured it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right.
indeed.
I used her. By her, do you mean him? It was the one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. Alter ego?
What?
just a second.
Don't interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation. Totally out of the loop. as usual. How sad.
In other words,
Then you're the one who stole
Indeed.
it. Indeed.
I see.
Genius! But stupid at the same time. What are you doing here?
Actually,
It's not like I could talk to you alone. What was stolen? I know who did it.
What?
are you okay with
It was
this?
Taka. He stole it.
So
I have
then,
proof. Would you like to see it? Found a use for the digital camera. You know what? In Taka's room earlier, I took pictures. Deleted the pictures as soon as I showed them to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
Taka forced you to steal
as
it?
for me,
He threatened me.
Oh.
as for me,
He abused me.
What?
Damnation! Oh my god, she's so good at lying.
Completely unforgivable!
Oh, that drove him into a
most
fit of rage.
unfortunate.
Hmm?
Actually,
Use her to escape. He's made you his target. He's going to try to kill you. Oh, he's turning them against each other and then he's gonna kill them both. Celeste, you genius!
Completely unforgivable!
honestly,
I swear I will save her!
actually,
Would you like to join with me? I have a plan.
Hmm?
Disgust me.
I see.
My question. What was the strange costume Hifumi's creation?
indeed.
Yep.
But...
I decided to make me the suspect. Because you're stupid.
Huh?
That's it?
Let's see.
I regard I made the right choice. I'm glad your stupidity surpassed even my every expectation. Life must have been tough on your parents, though. I feel like I could cry.
Well,
You were explaining your plan to Fumi. How did you explain the part about him playing dead? Asking is if Fumi was supposed to do after that, assuming you actually let him live.
Are you okay?
It's simple. After he did his part, pretended to be dead, when someone showed up, I told him to say he's been seriously wounded and was on the verge of death. He just barely held on. Of course. Well, while you were questioning what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Hifumi would have an alibi, so no one could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. Very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of opponent. In fact, Hifumi ate it up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly right up until the moment of his death.
So in the
You
end,
had planned to kill him all along. But of course. And no point to my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself.
What the heck? Well,
Did everything in my power to win.
Don't be mean!
Now you sound like Byakuya.
I wonder about that.
He derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
Then what made you take things this far?
What the heck?
Is it really just for money?
Hmm.
We're talking about the $10 million. That is a lot of money. That's not all there is to it. My only thought has been escape since we
But-
got here. Think how we have to accept living?
You little bitch!
Totally called it. She's a liar.
Hey! You little bitch! This
Why?
is fine.
You have a dream? Hang up on her
Honestly,
dream forever. No way I could do that. Risk my life to make a metaphorical killing.
as for me,
All for that dream. What was this dream?
isn't it wonderful?
To live in a European castle. Oh. And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butlers / bodyguards? Oh. Dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. That's a messed up plan.
This is fine.
Okay.
There is nothing to be done.
Hush you, she's admitting her guilt.
Just the worst.
Oh,
Feel guilty? That's pointless. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I
do
feel
you
nothing.
understand?
What is this?
How can you be so calm? You're about to die. Oh, babe, don't cry. I can even feel my own emotions. That's why you're not scared.
Yes, indeed.
I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. If I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice, then
Isn't it
I
wonderful?
think I would like to come back as Marie Antoinette.
Hey.
You just get executed again. Ah. Her final lie was that she can fool her own emotions.
Kills, chills, kills! Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
For the ultimate gambler.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's
Punishment time!
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this.
What?
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way.
Locker 17! It's where Small is!
Which is why, actually, it's not important. Well then, take care, everyone.
You two, whatever your
Perhaps
name was.
we'll meet again. In another life.
Just don't kill anyone and we'll be good. Hit that button! How is she gonna get killed? Decapitated by cards? Losing at a trading card game? Ooh, hello. Is she stuck to a post? Very fancy post. Ooh, is that a bunny? In a field of teddy bears. The burning of the Versailles witch. Oh. Scarecrow Kuma. The music makes it sound so sad. Is she actually burning to death? Is that real fire or fake? Oh, she's sweating. It's gotta be real fire. A fire truck? She's gonna get hit by a fire truck? Oh. That's one way to kill a witch. Alright. That's alright, I guess. Okay. The third execution's over. It is awful. Someone couldn't get free of their regrets in the outside world.
Extreme!
We need more balance.
What are
in
you
our
gonna
lives.
do?
Let me out of here!
Too bad.
It's my destiny to knock you down one by one. Oh, you're gonna make us keep going through with this. What do you want from us? I'm so sick of people asking me that. Give it a rest already.
Hey, hey! What?
So then,
I'll answer your question if you answer
You-
mine. What did you do? What did you do to me?
who?
What?
Hey,
Answer me. What did you do to my body? What?
Ooh,
Whoa!
How
Whoa!
exciting!
I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. What was that just now? The mastermind did something to Kyoko's body? What does it mean?
Hello.
Things are getting kind of awkward. I think it's about time I got out of here.
Well,
You guys can go on enjoying your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
see ya later!
What did the bear do to her?
so
It's the key to one of the dressing room lockers. And that means... Phil's probably
Hey.
hidden there. So sometimes it's easiest to miss what's right beneath your nose. Let's go check.
indeed.
Let's all take a bath together. It'll be great. Where's the dressing room? Kimberly Pine said.
Hey,
I'm going to go alone from here. Everyone else head to the dining hall. I'll check with you later.
What?
What exactly are you going alone?
so
Even have to ask?
Come on.
That's not what I meant. Why you? There's still the risk of a spy, you know. I'll go too.
What?
You? Please let me go. Send here arguing is just going to draw more attention
Goodbye.
to us. Do whatever you want. Thank you, Byakuya.
Well then.
It's up to you now. Thanks, Sakura.
Yo!
I'm gonna go to the dining hall, okay? Bye, Hiro.
Huh?
Ooh, oh, she's jealous! Does that mean what I think it means?
Okay.
Good luck, Makoto. Makoto, girls like hers are total pushovers when you show a little backbone. Oh my god. I tried to forget what Hina said.
Shall we go?
Let's go.
So then,
You really came.
We did. Good morning. It's nighttime. Ooh, she's safe.
So,
Last set of files soon. Needs to release tomorrow. Okay. What are you trying to do all on your own here?
you.
Is that why you wanted to come here? with me?
However,
Regardless, that's not something you need to know right now. I don't need to know. That just makes me even more worried.
What?
Worried? Like what happened during the investigation this time. You disappeared and we didn't see you again. Without warning, without explanation. When you do that,
indeed.
it's only natural that they think I'm the mastermind spy, right? And you too? No! I believe
What?
in you. You believe in me? Yeah! Hina said we're coming in here to bang, right? Hina's always right about this type of stuff. People believe in their friends. I want you to believe me too, because we're friends. I understand.
It's true.
Then maybe I can believe in you. Just a little bit more. Then,
That's fine.
fine, I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see? What I heard from Kyoko then was, well, frankly, it kind of blew my mind. Right after I told Kyoko I believe in her, she told me a story that was, well, almost unbelievable. I decided to go confirm what she told me. So I waited for nighttime to come, and when it did, I went into action.
Correct.
The boys' bathroom on the second floor doesn't have a surveillance monitor in it. And the storage closet there, way in the back of the boys' bathroom is a strange closet. Could she be right about this? Knock knock, who's there? Just a normal storage closet, far I can see. A secret, could it be in here? Oh, just tap the thing on the back? Back of the storage closet. But I mean, seriously? I think I placed my hand on the back. Suddenly, as if we're being yanked in, a revolving door! A bump. Whoa! Secret room!
Correct.
In the boys' bathroom, there's a storage closet. Way in the back of that closet, there's a secret room. So this is the secret room. But what's in here? There's a bunch of files that look like volumes of yearbooks covered in dust. One file caught my eye. Hopespeak Academy Student Registry. You must not leave. That's kind of weird. I can't leave, but you must not leave. Head feels funny. Strange sensation. It feels like deja vu. You must not leave. I've seen them somewhere before, but I can't quite remember. Don't I know? I... Ah! Am I dead? Did I get killed? It's all over. Somebody stole all the files! My files! An empty bookshelf. Empty. Gone. It's all gone! The yearbooks, the student registry, and even the note that followed on the floor. It's all gone? What does this mean? Oh. Head pain. How did someone know I was here? Things are getting blurry. I collapsed in the hallway. The sound. It's coming from the gym? What's going on in the gym? What's going on? It can't be nothing here in the gym. What's behind the door? Is it the bear? I didn't make a sound as I opened the gym. Ooh. Sakura's fighting the bear! Oh my god! She flashed us! Rage to battle beyond anything humanly possible. One side's not human for sure, but...
Why, you? What do you think you're doing?
Fighting the bear!
I asked you a question. What's the meaning of this? How dare you defy me? This wasn't part of the deal!
Deal?
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat, no longer compromise, no longer regret. I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
Yeah! Resist what?
Okay, but you do realize what will happen if you go through with this, right? You haven't forgotten, have you? What I'm holding hostage?
Hostage? What am I watching? Sakura's the spy? And just like the first trial, we have lost 3 more students. To be continued.